G'day guys, welcome to today's Aussie adventure. As you can see, we bought a van. We're quite happy with our purchase. We bought it secondhand off some friends from the club. It's September 2021 is its first registration, so it's basically what, 8 months old. Yeah, it's only, and it had only been used once. It's a little Jayco Journey Outback. It's 14.2 feet, I think it is, long. The GVM's 1.83 tonne, and the tear weight's 1.53 tonne, I think it is, something along those lines. So it's a good little van for us. I'll do a little bit of a walk around on it and tell you what we've done to it so far and what's going to be getting done to it. So one of the first things we did when we got it is we changed over to a DO35 hitch. One of the reasons for that is with the standard tow ball they bind, and it's really hard to get on and off. As you can see, our driveway, trying to back this thing in, the car was on a bit of an angle, and actually to pop that off the tow ball, I actually had to use a pinch bar while we're winding up the jockey wheel. That was a real nightmare. The tow balls are quite dangerous as well. If your Caravan does roll over, it can take your car with you. These things here, they just, you know, they're awesome. They go this way, that way. They're just awesome. So yeah, it was one of the first things I did. Not a cheap exercise. It's up around $1,000 mark. I had to actually get a drop down hitch as well for the truck because of the lift in the truck. Now we'll walk around the side and just have a little bit of a look-see. So we've got our stowage compartment here. It goes all the way through to the other side, with another door on the other side. So that's pretty handy to have that stowage there. We've got the gas hot water system. And for it to work, it has to be turned on, and it's controlled on the inside. So that's that, and that's our, you know, when we're at a powered site, it's our 240 volt mains in with a 15 amp plug. It goes to a like a weather insulated box, or, you know. So yeah, I don't know what you call it, but you know, so if it rains, it's all good. The tyres that are on it are a 15-inch tyre. They're quite small. That's probably one of the things I'd like to change is, I'd like, if it's the same stud pattern as the D-Max, and if it'd fit, and if I'm allowed to do it legally, I'd love to put the same size tyres and the same tyres as what's on the D-Max. That way, you know, if I get a flat or anything like that, I get 2 flats. I've got a spare on the D-Max and a spare underneath. The spare sits in under there. I don't know that it'd fit, but it's worthwhile. I'm going to look into doing that. That's the grey water outlet there. Not really happy with the way that sits down. The departure, the approach and departure angle of these things in your ramp over with the truck, mate, it's pretty bad. When we went away for our club camp trip, yeah, we sort of, well, you can see it bottomed out, and that, it's not even real four-wheel drive. And here's the external hot water shower. We have a pop-up tent, which is a real nightmare. The pop-up tent, trying to put them back in their holes once they've popped out. We haven't used that yet. We've only had this for a couple of weeks, or a week or two at most. But yeah, she's a little pop top. She's a little ripper for us. We're really happy with it. I will say though, although it seems to be like composite and insulated, like it seems to be about, I don't know, maybe 2 inches thick, mate, it's as cold inside as what it is outside. We had thermometers to gauge that. So here's the inside. These that we're in this direction. We'll have a look. It's got an internal kitchenette with gas burner on top, gas grill, and it's got a microwave. When we got this thing, it had been used once. This still had plastic in it. You know, it was basically brand new, so we were quite happy to take it off our friend's hands. Over here is the hot water system. when you turn everything on. At the moment we're not plugged into 240. I'm sitting on I've got the isolator switch on, and the reason why I leave that on is it when the isolators, they tell you to turn them off when they're in storage, but if you leave it turned on, if you have it turned off, your solar panel does not charge the battery. If you leave it turned on, your solar panel charges and it keeps it topped up. Obviously, if it's a dark day, you've got to turn that off, and you've also got to turn off underneath this. Yeah, here's a seat, but underneath the seat is the IntelliJ battery management system. I'll show you that in a minute, but I'll show you the rest of the inside. So, unlike a lot of vans, this has got the 2 single beds, which really suits us well, because I have bad hips. I'll just turn some lights on, see if it gets a little bit better viewing wise. So I've had a hip replacement and that, so the 2 single beds for us is spot on. Plenty of storage, as you can see. It's had the 2 Sirocco fans put in. It's got the side lights, mate. This thing is kitted out. Yeah, pretty good. Obviously, you know, that's our cabinet that we hang our clothes in. There's storage everywhere in this thing. We've actually got a 12-volt telly too that sits up there. I've got to sort this out though, because that's just crap. I either got to unscrew that and get a cable that's got the little pin in it, which I think I might have one inside, or get it or replace it. It's got the Dometic, I think it's a 75 litre, it's a dual zone. It's a 75 litre fridge, so it's got the little freezer up here. It's actually a 3-way freezer. It runs off 240 volt mains, it runs off your battery, but it runs off gas. Now they're more efficient on gas. The only issue we found is that when we picked the Caravan up off our friends, the gas bottles were empty. So just be aware of that if you're buying a Caravan, guys. That, you know, like these people that we got off seriously had not used this thing, and there was all this error lights coming on, and yeah, when we were away on the weekend for the camp trip with the club, you know, I was running off the AC the entire time, just keeping it at temperature. Later on, I learnt that, one, there was air in the gas line. Like, all the gas was turned on, everything was working. We had hot water, we had the oven was working, but the fridge just kept coming up with this bloody error. So to turn it on, you hold the button in like this. Like I said, we're on just got the battery is what's running everything at the moment. I'll show you in a minute, because I've got an app that's connected to it. So to turn on, you just hold it like that. If you want to go through the settings, you press that, and you can go down here and you can change that to auto. Now it's trying to find the gas. Now I've got the gas turned off, so this should come up as an error very shortly, unless it's using the gas that's in the line, but I don't think so, because it's under pressure. So to change it, you can change it to what you want it to be. You got your use mode settings. You know, you can have it on battery save. I've got it set on performance. You know, I like my stuff cold. Yeah, so that's a great little unit. It's got a range hood. I think, like I said, it was cold. Like, it must got down to about 4 degrees when we're out there and we're freezing. So one of the next things that's going in this thing is a diesel heater. Now I'll just show you this IntelliJ system. I'll just get that out of the road. So I've just got to put the camera up. Hold on a minute. I've already cocked up and done it all wrong, but you pull the seat out, and under here, and lean that up against there, is the IntelliJ system, and we've got a 120 amp hour lithium battery in there. Like I said, I'm going to be installing a heater in it. I'll do that as a separate video. I was thinking about sticking it under the bed, so it's easy access to the management system, but then I was looking at it going, if these blankets fall down over the vents, you know, it could cause a problem. So I think I've decided I'm going to put the heater in under this one here. Yeah, I think that'll be the way to go, and I'm going to get onto that real soon. This table does come out and sits down on here, and there's a cushion in under this bed here, and it's like a, you know, like a lounge or even a bed for a small person. Now, they'd be pretty bloody small. So I'm thinking of putting the heater in here, the diesel heater in here, and then I can run my wiring through the skirting board there, and have the vent coming out here, probably aiming back that way, and probably the intake vent on this side here. Well, that's what I'm thinking of doing. What's going to be the determining factor is where all this plumbing is and the wiring. It's going to be the determining factor, so I'm going to have to make some measurements. Like I said, I'll do that in another video. But yeah, guys, this is our van. Like I said, we're really happy with it. Except that it was bloody cold. So, oh yeah, we've got a little pantry here. Yeah. Now, when I put the, I don't know if this is a CO2 alarm as well. But when I put the diesel heater in, I am going to get a CO detector and stick it on the ceiling as well, just for added safety. A lot of these things are smoke detectors and CO detectors, but I'm unsure. Yeah, I'd have to probably read the manual, but I'm hopeless at that. I don't read manuals. That's just, you know, it's just me. I just get in and do stuff. So yeah, no, that's the van on the inside. Like I said, what I'll do is I'll quickly show you, because you can manage it all via Bluetooth. Getting in and out's a bit hard for me with my dicky hips. Oh, this thing here's a little table. It's got a light. The annex and awning has a light as well on the end strip. We won't talk about the awning, because the first time we put it out, I didn't read any manuals or anything, and it was a nightmare. It was just silly stuff. 2 gas bottles in the front here to supply everything. And where's my iPad? I'll just get my iPad and I'll show you. So it's a projector IntelliJ. This is on my iPad. I've got the lights on in there at the moment, so she's pulling 1.34 amps, but due to the solar on the roof, we're actually charging at 2.7 amps, so, you know, half the difference, and we've got, you know, an amp going in, pretty much an amp and a half or whatever it be. When the mains are plugged in, that lights up. You can control your water pump, your hot water system from here. And it shows you your water tank levels. Now this thing's got 2 tanks. It's got a 2 80-litre tanks, so it's 160 litres of water. Now 160 litres might sound like a lot, but I tell you what, mate, you go through it pretty quickly. It doesn't take much at all. Like, we just washed a couple of dishes and wash our hands and things like that just for one night, and yeah, you know, we've used 75%, oh well, not 75%, but 25% of from both tanks. So, you know, it's something that we're going to have to be very aware of when we're out, you know, is be water wise. But anyways, guys, that's the van. When we got it, I'll tell you something that's funny. When we got it, so you can connect Bluetooth. So we're reading the manual, and it's saying, oh, it's the last 4 digits of the serial number. So we're in here, and we're looking, and we're looking at all the cords and all this sort of stuff, and going, oh, where's the serial number, you know? So we're looking at all these numbers, and we're typing in 4 digits of all these numbers. Well, I can tell you for a fact, it's not the serial number at all. So it's this little number here. So for us to connect up to ours, that's the 17F7 to connect to the Bluetooth. you know, like to some, like here we are using the last 3 numbers and digits and looking at all this, and that tiny little sticker there is yeah, it took us a while to figure it out, but anyways, that's that. How I'm going to do the hot water, I mean the heater, the diesel heater, I'm gonna have to find a negative spot for it to go into, that can actually handle the amp draw of the heater. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more. Well, 12 volts pretty simple, but you really want to going through your shunt so you can keep an eye on your power usage. Like I said, it says 0 hours and 55 minutes. That's to charge it up. If I turn these lights off, which is the only things that are turned on, this should go to 0. I think that's the only thing that's turned on yet. I went to 0. Okay. Now we're charging it at 4 amps, and it's 37 minutes to go for it to be fully charged in the sun, and it's at 98%. Now, when it's night time, it'll start discharging, you know, and it'll tell you how many amps are discharging. So that's a handy little tool to have, so you can be, you know, sort of monitor your battery. But yeah, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Like I said, I'm going to install a diesel heater. That's going to be a separate video. And oh, there we go. See, that was the error we were getting when we're out camping. That's the error we were getting. And it was like, the gas is turned on, the gas is turned on. So what the trick is, when there's an air line in here, you've got to turn the fridge on and off and on and off. So you've got to go like this, turn it off, and then you've got to turn it on, and then you got to turn it off. You got to cycle it. We had to cycle it to get the air out of the gas. We had to cycle it. They say 3 or 4 times, maybe more. Mate, we had to cycle it about 8 times, and I only figured that out when we got home. You know, I turned the gas on, and I read the manual, and it's like, oh, okay. You know, and there was guys at the Caravan park said, you've got to turn them on and off a few times, and we all tried it, and we couldn't get it working, eh? And I was like, oh, don't worry about it, guys. I'll figure it out when I get home. But yeah, that was a funny experience in itself, you know. Like I said, with this thing and the departure angles, you can see the mud and shit on there now. We'd actually bent the step up as well, and we're not talking 4-wheel drive tracks. That was a private property. It was very lame, you know, but I bent all that. And what the guys, like, we're new to caravanning, what the guys say is a lot of people get rid of them completely. Maybe pull that bumper in too to give me more angle going down that way. They get rid of those, and they just use a little step to get the step up in there, which is probably not a bad idea. And like I said, I want to get bigger tyres as well for it. So yeah, no, we're happy with it. It's going to be better once we've got the heater installed. Like I said, I had to get a drop down hitch for it. If I get bigger tyres, I could probably revert back to like I've got a standard sort of coupling or hitch over there, and I could probably get back up to level again. But that's how much I had to drop it by to keep the Caravan level, and even that bottomed out on that one area. So that's, to me, I just don't know if you can put bigger tyres on them if they become sort of if they can like tip roll over, if it's a rollover hazard. I know it's going to put extra pressure on the brakes because it's a bigger tyre, but you know, yeah, look, a couple that inch or two makes a big difference. Look, if I'm allowed to do it and it's legal and the stud patterns fit and I can do all that, well, let us know, because I don't know. But anyways, guys, that's the van. The next video you'll see is the install of the diesel heater, and that'll be fun in itself. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions about it, just leave a question. I always get, you know, it might take me a day or two, but I always get back to people. Even if negative questions, call it, you know, there's a lot of bad rep on Jaycos out there, but we know of people anyways that apparently travelled around Australia in them and never had a problem, done the Gibb River Road, you know, and it's all about how you drive and how you handle you know, how you take care of your stuff. So anyways, guys, like I said, if you like the video, leave a like. If you've got any questions, by all means ask, and I'm more than happy to tell you what we've learnt so far, and I guarantee we've still got more to learn as well. Okay guys, thanks for watching. See ya.